Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. Welcome to a new pick a card reading. For those of you who are new, a special hello to you. I'm Zach and I use a natural psychic ability to read tarot and to create your oracle. This is a general reading. That means the messages here should be used as confirmations and less as specific information. So if you hear something that doesn't quite resonate, that most likely means it's meant for someone else or you're not quite ready to hear that message yet. If you'd like to book a personal reading, I recommend following the link in my description box or find my email on this account. So for this reading, there are 3 piles to choose between, but before you do that, make sure you've really grounded your energy. That gives us the best chance of linking up in time and space so that this reading means that much more to you. It also helps me pull forward the most useful information. So once you've grounded your energy, you can take a look at those piles and let's look at them now. Pile 1 is Tiger's Eye. Pile 2 is Selenite. Pile 3 is a turquoise ring. Feel free to pause the video to take as long as you need to choose the pile you feel drawn to the most. Once you've made your selection, there are corresponding timestamps there in the description box or the comment section below. Find your corresponding timestamp and I will meet you at your reading. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's start off with some tarot. Ooh, you guys have the Page of Wands. So some of you might like to work with fashion, or you guys consider yourself as fashion people. You really like to change up your hair, and you really express yourself by how you dress. I also think that there's another message here for people who don't feel like how they adorn their avatar is important, but it really truly is because it expresses yourself, it helps you express yourself more authentically. And when you do that, your soul can recognize that and your moods start to shift, okay? I get the idea of someone who should start paying more attention to how they dress and how they express themselves, okay? Page of Wands could be a message about a fun little weekend adventure, okay? I get that idea. Page of Wands in a romantic situation is a young love and a young blood, okay? Perhaps not someone who wants to stick around, but who is this Page of Wands? What do they want? Wheel of Fortune, curious, okay. So a fated event moving through. Wheel of Fortune requires action. I always like to think of a grain mill and what is needed to turn grain into flour? It's action. We need the water to turn the stone to grind it, right? We can't just look at the grain and think it's going to turn into a more profitable product by overnight looking at it. No, you have to sort of take action. So right now I see you moving somewhere, going into a different arena perhaps, to utilize this young, inspiring energy of the Page of Wands to sort of cause a shift in your energy. Okay, I'm getting the idea of perhaps, at the very least, studying something more spiritual in nature. You guys could look up ancient Egypt and find someone that you relate to in those times. It could be gods. Okay, you guys could be interested in Bast or Bastet. I think that would be interesting. I'm looking at the salamanders now on the Page of Wands, and salamanders are the only animal who can go through fire and emerge unscorched, okay? At least that's what the legend says. And so the salamander, to me, talks about some sort of like inner power, being able to transmute fire, so transmuting passion, okay? So there's this need to take action on some sort of passion of yours, okay? This could be a person, but let's get another card. What do we need to take action on? Oh, you. A Page of Pentacles, curious. Very curious. Okay, so this could be, simply studying. That was that energy that I was getting. Okay, but now we have 2 people, which is pretty curious. Let's draw a few more cards to sort of figure out what's going on. Okay, a lot of Pentacle energy, but now in reverse. Okay, 7 of Pentacles in reverse says be patient, honey. Four of Pentacles in reverse says, lighten up, loosen your grip a little bit. Okay, so I'm getting the idea of someone who needs to adorn themselves, okay? Someone who needs to feel like they are young at this time, okay? Regardless of your age, that's like the energy I'm getting. I'm getting the idea of like young and new, okay? And moving from that nebulous phase of an idea into taking an action on it, okay? The Wheel of Fortune, it talks about daring, to just take the wheel and move it, okay? For better or for worse, something needs to move. Something needs to get off the ground, okay? Now, I will draw on these pages, okay? But, impatience, with the Seven of Pentacles, I don't like to see that because you guys have already worked so hard. You've achieved 7 Pentacles, okay? And I think right now you're holding on a little bit too tightly and you're trying to force the 3D or trying to force the universe's hand. What's needed is a little bit of a lighter energy to shift it up. You need to take a page from these pages and be a little bit more youthful, okay? So a little bit more spontaneous. Something along the idea of just fresher, younger, more vibrant energy, okay? Because 7 of Pentacles says that you have 7 of them, okay? There's not 2, there's not 4, there's not 5, you have 7. So you've really put in the work. It's just for some reason right now, you're not able to perceive it as such. You're not able to see the success you've made. And as a result, you're kind of like just driving yourself to keep creating, keep doing more. And there's this idea of needing to appreciate how far you've come, okay? Now, let's go ahead and take a look at these pages. I will draw some romance cards. They might not be romantic people. I do get them more as the energy of young, youth, naivety, but in your favor, okay? Sometimes ignorance is bliss is another message that comes through when I see 2 pages. Just new energy, something young, studying something I think would be important at this time, okay? Like to bring your knowledge set further. You guys have finances and career was the card that flew out. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Ask for and accept support from others with let your friends help you, okay? And that's what I'm seeing these pages as, friends, okay? It's like the idea of loosening the purse strings a little bit. I think you guys have been building your finances and you've gotten to a point where you have a little bit saved up, but now you're almost afraid to spend any of it, and that might block energy. Okay, I just get the idea that you guys are a little bit hesitant to spend anything, even if it's like literally like $20 on like these random earrings or a new shirt, okay? So, because I see with finances and career, these were not necessarily people coming in, romantic figures, okay? I do get that it's more the idea of young, youthful energy, inspiring energy, is what is needed for pile 1. Okay, we seem to want to talk about this idea of having a little bit more patience. Things can't materialize overnight. Those kind of ideas. Action is necessary. Baby steps are cumulative. I think these are all really important messages for pile 1. Let's see if there's one more card here. Okay. With let your friends help you, ask for and accept support from others, I get the idea that you don't need to do it all on your own, okay? Or there's this idea of taking what you currently have built and sharing that with your close friends, who will give you constructive feedback and see what it might need. What is this new perspective? Where do we need to bring a new idea of a developed skill set? How can we incorporate that? How can you take what you know now in this field of career or talent? How can you take what you presently have and bring it further? Okay, what is this card? It's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all, and that is the vibration of love. To me, this doesn't talk necessarily about romance, so we're not necessarily commenting on that for better or for worse, but what we're saying is that it's that idea of energy. open your heart to receive the highest energy of all. I think what we could be talking about is the need to develop your heart chakra, okay? To develop compassion. It's the idea of sharing your wealth of ideas with other people, okay? Now let's go ahead and reach for some earth magic, and then I really want to reach for an animal medicine card. So for pile 1, is there any earth magic that might be useful? We do have, all of these pentacle cards. Is there perhaps earth magic for pile 1? Ocean with ebb and flow. Okay, so I'm getting the idea that you guys are just impatient. And recognize when you're in an ebb and when you're in a flow. And this can happen in the realm of relationships too. It is something I like to repeat on this channel because it was pivotal to me when I heard this advice from my vocal coach, that relationships ebb and flow. And she's someone who had been through a marriage and divorced and remarried. And it was just so helpful to hear that. It's not always supposed to be rainbows and butterflies or, hearts and flowers for the entire thing. There are phases where people grow apart a little bit because they need to focus on themselves, and then you can grow back, and it should look kind of like this, right? Into work and harmony, right? So sense when you are in an ebb and when you're in a flow, okay? Right now I get the idea of energy being perhaps halted, and it's only because we're being a little too critical on ourselves at this time, or we're not having enough dedication and follow through, okay? There is that Wheel of Fortune card that did come up right, and to me that does talk about, any action you put forward right now is going to be rewarded. If it was reversed, I get there's something wrong, we have to figure out something and then move forward. Upright, I'm getting the idea of it wants to turn in your favor. We want to help you. Or it's the idea of you're about to receive a flow, an influx of energy. Okay, let's reach for, and I think this influx of energy would be helpful. Grouse. Oh, and raven. Curious. So 2 birds. Okay, so you guys might be air signs. I look at the Wheel of Fortune as very airy too. Okay, grouse first though. Oh, curious. So one is 34, the other is 16. They're both 7, so 7, 7. That's a significant number, okay? Some of you might want to look up what the number 77 means. I think that could be significant to you, okay? Look up angel number 77 if you feel so inclined to. Grouse, it talks about the spiral, and it talks about doing this dance to achieve a different state of consciousness. And then you have raven with magic. So there's something along the lines of mysticism, okay, and creative energy, and going into the void. Ooh, I wish I had my void cards are in the studio. I would draw a message from the void for you guys. So maybe I will, and I'll put this in post. So note to self, Zach, go outside, grab your messages from the void, and I will just put it as a comment at the end of your video, okay? But the 2 of them together, spiral, it talks about shifting your energy, okay? We're talking about an energy shift here in pile 1, okay? Receive the highest energy of all. I think working on compassion and being kinder to yourself, and the idea of new freshness needs to come to pile 1. Sensing when you're in an ebb and when you're in a flow, and figuring out if you're happy with that state, if you're not, identifying what you need to do to shift it. So if you're in an ebb, what's really helpful is to step away from the project and to quite literally dance, right? To follow the idea of this sacred spiral, which is the grouse's message. And it talks about, spinning, very, very quickly. I hate centrifugal force, so I would never want to do this. But it's used in some tribes to help you receive messages, intuition, and to reach different states of consciousness. And because we're talking about that with magic and Raven and this idea of energy being really crucial to pile 1 at this time, I'm getting the idea of connecting with your spirit guides. So you might not necessarily do a spiral to achieve a new state of consciousness, but there are other ways to do that, okay? For some reason I'm seeing the Hanged Man, who willingly submits himself on the pole to hang upside down to receive a different perspective, okay, to receive enlightenment. So this could talk about trance, meditation. There's something along the ideas of getting a spiritual message from your team, and it's needed, what is needed is you to take action on achieving this different state of consciousness. I think right now you're too hyper-focused on what you're doing, and as a result you're blocking energies that are trying to assist you and perhaps guide you, and we're really calling attention to you needing to shift that up. Okay, especially because we have 7 of Pentacles in reverse next to the 4 of Pentacles. Those are both kind of like really hard energies, blocking everything away from you, like pushing everything away because you feel like you have to be exactly where you are in this very millisecond, doing everything, every minute of every single day is necessary in order to achieve this goal. It's not. I think you guys need to take a deep breath and to really, that message early on with the Page of Wands. It's this idea of fashion and adorning yourself, and being able to feel like an HBIC is going to help you operate like an HBIC. I think that's the main message. I want you guys, whenever you see yourself in the mirror, to be like, damn, bitch, like I look good today. And I think that would really help you, okay? So these seem to be the main messages coming through. Let's pull a spiritual lens to wrap up your reading. Okay, so this is for pile 1, please. Is there a spiritual card, spiritual advice for pile 1? I also just want to say I would love to receive the grouse and the raven. You guys might want to look those up as well and find your own interpretation of those meanings. But to me, they really talk about ancestry, spirituality, magic, and mysticism, the occult, and creativity, creation itself, a creative force. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Okay, I get the idea of you guys perhaps pushing so hard in one direction that you're blocking redirection. Okay, you're blocking energy of the universe, your guides, whatever you operate with, whatever you work with, you're blocking their assistance at this time. And whenever I get a strong throat closure, that means the message is significant, okay? I think for the majority of you, your soul is asking you to do something else, okay? You may have put a lot of work into this project, okay? And you're going to have to use your discernment, pile 1. Some of you just need to be patient. Some of you are barking up the wrong tree, okay? And you will know who you are, okay? With answer the call, I'm getting the idea, especially with finances and career, I'm getting the idea that you guys need to sort of figure out what is the most authentic to you, okay? Expressing yourself authentically is a message that keeps coming up, and we heard that early on with the Page of Wands, okay? So those are your final messages. I will go ahead and find that box outside and draw a message from the void. If you haven't subscribed, you can consider subscribing to hear more messages like this. If you've made it this far into the video, you can give me a big thumbs up. It really helps support the messages on my channel. It also helps other people find these messages who need to hear them too. And until next time, stay divine. As promised, pile 1, let's sort of figure out what these messages from the void want to be. Oh. I'm going to put you back. I wanted to give it a good shuffle first. Okay. Let's get to. Your messages are relationships ebb and flow. Wow. I'm pretty sure that came out in your reading. That's pretty synchronistic. And then look up. Okay, so to me, this says take your mind off directly focusing with laser focus on something in order to be able to pull in something on the sidelines that could help you get to where you want to be. Look up. Okay, so for pile 2, please. Hi, pile 2, welcome to your reading. Ooh. Way too much. So let's figure out what message do we have for pile 2? What do we want to talk to pile 2 about? Ooh, the star. Okay. Curious. Okay. The star, but in reverse, you guys. Some of you don't understand your potential, or some of you are looking at yourselves as less than what you are capable of, or not as beautiful. Okay, some of you are not being authentic at this time either, and that is the universe's way of calling you out. Okay, I see the 4 of Wands, which means stability, potentially at home. Okay, but also achieving some sort of milestone in a goal. This isn't a gigantic milestone, but it is a pause, because you've made efforts to get off the ground and you've set something into motion, and right now it's a chance to recuperate your energy, just to sort of make sure you are going exactly in the direction that you want to. And it's like we want to make sure that we didn't forget anything. Like, when we took off, I feel like things started moving very quickly. You felt very impassioned, inspired, and you started moving quickly and gaining momentum. And I'm just seeing there's 2 or 3 little parcels that you left on the curb because you're so excited to go, is what I'm seeing. And we just want to make sure that you didn't forget anything important, okay? That's what the 4 of Wands means to me. It's let yourself indulge in a little bit of a rest at this time. It's not the 4 of Swords, which is deep meditation, deep rest. This is more of a pause to give yourself time to refill your tank a little bit. It's like going to a little garden party, or a friend's house to have a little cookout. Even though you feel like you should be putting in those extra hours to, go to the gym, to read that book, to finish this passion project, to complete some underpainting. It's that idea of, let's use this time to refill our creative well, to, have a little bit of a pause, right? We want to make sure that all of our ducks are in a row and that we didn't forget any of those little baggages, those little bags. I'm seeing little purses, little velvet purses, right? I don't know why. Velvet is used to keep what's inside, in a mystical sense, protected magically. Okay, so that might be significant to someone in here. Now the star is a message of hope, okay? Followed by, this 1111, which is what I see, okay? Some of you might want to make a wish. Okay, and you could pause the video to do so because you have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, this also came out in pile 1, but this is a very different reading. Star to me says a message of hope. It talks about channeling from the collective, even Akashic records, channeling that information and watering earth with it, okay? Because you see this beautiful androgynous figure who has a foot on the land and a foot on top of the water, pouring water, into source, the pond, and, onto the ground. You guys could be Aquarius like myself. And it's that idea of a balance, right? It's making sure that you give back a little bit too. The star, though, is very significant, okay? To me, in reverse, I want to make sure that pile one, if you felt drawn to pile 1, there might be a message in there for one of you here. For pile 2, I think that you guys need to sort of make sure that you're pulling through authentic things with this creative project. I think those beautiful little velvet bags that I keep sitting on the curb, it's like you got on the bus and you left town. What was in those velvet bags are important, and they're necessary because it's they help polish this project that you're on, or that you're doing, this thing that you're creating, that you're making, that you desire to have. Is think of a raw, what's that called? What's the a raw sapphire looks nothing like a polished sapphire. You would never think that sapphire could be that like very sort of dull looking, right? And it's like what's in those velvet bags, that authenticity, that sparkle of yours is the difference. That's going to make the difference. So for some reason, yeah, I keep getting called to this, you know, Four of Wands, which to me, it's a really, really good energy. You know, it's one of the only cards in the deck that for me doesn't have any sort of ulterior motive or any hidden message with it. It feels very, very nice. I love to see all the yellow. I love to see the garland, okay? But if you'll take a very close look, if you're intimate with tarot, you'll see that the garland is actually only attached to 2 out of the 4 poles. And so there's that idea of something missing, okay? There's that idea of needing to create more stability by taking this rest, okay? So you can like attach that garland to all 4 so that it can stay up for a longer period of time, okay? Now the star coming out, I don't quite want to leave that message yet. To me, you know, let's see, pile 2. What do we want to talk about? Why is the star card here? Let's just reach here. For pile 2, why do they have the star card? Why else do they have the star card? Page of Swords in reverse. Okay. Okay, you guys need to start talking to yourself differently. Okay, because the Emperor is in reverse too, okay? And to me, that's not recognizing, you guys are not emotionally satisfied at this time is what I'm getting, okay? And I get the idea that you need to start changing the way you talk to yourself, or that certain affirmations could be very useful to you, okay? I think that it could be important for you to wake up in the morning and start your day off by listing 3 or 4 things that you're grateful for, or expectations that you have. For example, just for today, I will focus on the positive. Just for today, I will be gentle with myself. Just for today, I will start talking nicer to myself, okay? And what I'm getting with this Page of Swords reversed, you know, is, yeah, it's kind of like, let's make sure that, especially in regards to what we desire to go after, we don't talk ourselves out of it, okay? It's the idea of needing to recognize that if you have a desire, you can absolutely go for it. And the only way it'll fail is if you stop giving it attention or if you give up on it, okay? Just because you've identified something pile 2 that's pretty grand doesn't mean that you can't achieve it. And what is necessary for you to achieve it at this time is to believe in yourself, okay? Wheel of Fortune, you know, I love to see that with the star, with the 1111 card, you know, with that great sort of just overall very good energy. And the Wheel of Fortune upright, you know, to me it says taking a wish, you know, and bringing it into the tangible, okay? So an idea, bringing it onto a concrete, real existence, okay? Getting the idea of pillars, okay? I'm seeing the star's legs and then the streams of water. 1111 is very significant, okay? You guys could look up what that means. You might be seeing 111 a lot, but it's the idea of pillars, okay? It's the idea of stability is necessary, especially because you do have this Emperor, another 4 in your reading, okay? And I think that perhaps pile 2 needs stability at this time, or they're relying on it too much and they're too comfortable where they are, and they need to believe in themselves that they can go to this new field. They can go in this new arena, they can move, they can change their job, they can rehouse, rehome, move locations. It's the idea that pile 2 needs to recognize, are you sitting in the idea of needing stability or relying too much on stability? Okay, that's a question that you guys should ask yourself. And for some reason, I really want to draw some of these little tiny messages. So what's going on for pile 2, and why do I keep wanting to draw these tiny messages? O. Full circle, though. Okay, this O looks like the Wheel of Fortune to me. Okay. At the end of a cycle. New path. Okay, yeah, new path. Right, so there's this idea of picking up that satchel, right? There's a new direction, right? I could see that with Page of Swords coming out. And then, Four of Wands, it's like reaching some phase in your journey. It could be like a physical location. And then Wheel of Fortune talks about action. And so we could be trying to redirect you at this time, okay? Anything else? The Emperor, too, in reverse, could talk about, a roadblock because we're trying to redirect you. Okay, that's enough from you, but I still want some messages for some reason. Talk to me. What's with pile 2 about? Frontier. Okay. These messages are becoming repetitive. So you have the Emperor, and you have, this milestone with the Four of Wands, new path, and now frontier, end of cycle, taking action. I think pile 2 needs to go somewhere new, okay? They need to believe in themselves, that they have this ability. You have a dream, okay? The Star is my favorite card in the deck, okay? Yes, it's a message of hope, but I also have other interpretations, and to me it talks about star power and potential, okay? And it is my, year card. It is my tarot card associated with my birthday. So there's this strong message about a new path and a frontier and breaking the mold and going somewhere new, okay? There's this idea of travel too, okay? So let's go a little bit deeper in your reading. I want to pull some earth magic. The Cave, that came out in pile 1. And to me it talks about home. Maybe you guys are homebodies. I just heard that. That's not a bad thing. Just make sure that you are, constantly giving yourself new stimuli to freshen your mind. Any other earth magic for pile 2? Ocean and ebb and flow. That came. These two cards came out for pile 1. So there is someone in here who has a message to receive in pile 1. Okay. Now together, ebb and flow is very. Ocean is very opposite to me from cave and sanctuary, okay? I think that pile 2 needs to use their discernment to decide if they're someone who has been spending too much time at home, if they're too comfortable with stability and as a result is preventing them from reaching their dreams or their life path or purpose, okay? Let's draw on these tarot cards with another tarot deck. What else do we want to talk to pile 2 about? Knight of Wands with impulsiveness. Okay, but it is the Knight of Wands. Curious. Oh my God. I heard one night stand, as always, and then I got that confirmation from the truck outside. And now the Three of Swords with affairs of the heart. Let's draw some romance to see what this message seems to be about. I'm hearing seeking yourself and other lovers. Release your ex. That's exactly what it is. The time has come to clear your energy. Yeah, you need to release this person that you've been in a relationship with and you just can't seem to break this bond because you feel guilty because you guys have built so much together. But you guys could be friends, There's something along the lines of it not needing to be a breakup like a normal clean-cut breakup. It's the idea that if you guys are friends, you can remain friends. You can design any relationship. It doesn't have to look like relationships that you see online or on TV. Release your ex, Knight of Wands, Three of Swords. We're trying to get rid of this person. There's something weighing on your heart that's preventing you from moving on, okay? This idea of new path, frontier, Emperor in reverse, there could be this figure could be older than you. It could be talking about your dad in reverse too, stepping on you and hiding your light, right? I get that Emperor in reverse, clarified by this Page of Swords, a father figure, overbearing, Star in reverse, causing you to doubt yourself, right? Needing to leave home and spread your wings, right? Needing to take action and believe in yourself that you can go. Okay, so for some reason I'm getting the idea of a new viewer, someone younger who has recently stumbled on this video, maybe for the first time. I'm just getting a younger energy, younger than 20, younger than 25 for sure. Needing to recognize that it's time to move out and to have faith that you can design your future. right? That you can go in any direction that you want, and allow serendipity, allow chance to, assist you. That's a really important message. This idea that, expecting the unexpected. I think that we forget that chance happens, like random acts of kindness happen, okay? I think, though, this message of release your ex, Three of Swords, affairs of the heart, I get the idea. This Knight of Wands is fun, romantically speaking, but I don't necessarily think that they stand the test of time in relationships, and I don't think that they're going to give you the stability that you need. I think that they could be a brunette, okay? Yeah, it's time to clear your energy, okay? For some of you, it is a father figure who, was overbearing and caused you to take on really cryptic ideas of the world, ideas of scarcity, and it's time to release that figure in your life. For others of you, this is a lover. It could be even a present relationship. I'm getting brunette and redhead, okay? How about one more message? Honest. Curious, though. It's the one card. A few readings ago on this channel, this card came out and fell on top of my candle and it got burnt. I think that's so significant, right? It burnt right on the H. And with honesty, Three of Swords, affair of the heart, there's something you need to have a heart-to-heart, okay? You need to let whatever is on your mind out because it's robbing your energy, okay? And you can't think yourself out of this one. You can't think yourself out of emotions, okay? Because it's just going to... you can't. That's the message of the Three of Swords to me. More than heartbreak is you can't think yourself out of emotions. You can't think out of them. Okay. But with honesty, I think that this one lies close to the heart and you think that you're going to wound them, and you may eventually, but I think it's for your good because you're meant to do something. Okay? I also think that pile 2 could be healing themselves right now. That's what we're seeing with the Star card. A little bit of self-healing at this time. Okay? Now, let's move your reading into a final message. I'm tangled up in the cords under the table. Let's do a spiritual message. For pile 2, please. What spiritual advice do we have for pile 2? The Great Gathering. It's coming together. Intuitive Hits and Soul Tribe. Warrior Woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? There we go. That's the message, okay? This idea of frontier, new path, recognizing the star within, good times ahead, Wheel of Fortune, take action on this dream. It will be supported. This idea of release your ex, and now we have Warrior Woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? With the sword. The sword talks, and this, it kind of looks like the Page of Swords, does it not? That first, to me, this talks about, a breath of fresh air, but it also, to me, talks about getting rid of energy of the past, ideas of jealousy, okay? And I think, the main message seems to be about a redirection, okay? We want to make sure that what you're doing is authentic to you. Authenticity is really important for the star, and it's also really important for pile 2 to recognize their potential and to cut away any relationship in the past that has made you feel smaller than you are. And it's time to sort of have this moment where you sort out your thoughts, right? You sword out your thoughts. Cut away the ones that are limiting you and preventing you from going in the direction that you feel within you is authentic, okay? I get the idea, and it's not going to be for all of you, but I do think for most of you, we want you to go somewhere else. You're not doing what you're meant to be doing. You're doing what your dad honestly thought that you should do when you were younger, okay? Because it was safe, because it was going to make you money. But if you live your life doing things for other people, or because society says that, and if that's out of balance, if that doesn't resonate with you, if that's not authentic to you, your soul is always going to cause, unrest. It'll always ask you for redirection to go in a different direction. Okay? So this is the end of your reading, and I know the camera cut out, and I'm sorry about that. If you'd like to book a personal reading, I have links below. You can find my email on this channel. And until next time, stay divine. Hi Pile 3, welcome to your reading. I'm starting yours with some of these iridescent cards. So these, this deck is loosely around romance, but let's sort of just figure out, what do we want to talk to Pile 3 about? Okay, what about that player? I love you. One more card. You must be willing to be the fool. Very interesting. So you do have I love you, but the player fell out, okay? I do. I want one more card. What direction do we want to take this in? Red light. Okay. So I'm hearing, I love you, baby. Oh my God, get rid of him. Okay, Pile 3, get rid of him. Whoever this player is in your life who says, I love you, no. You must be willing to be the fool, to be the master is the rest of that message, which means taking, a risk with someone, and perhaps you have. And this was just for experience. That's what that message is. Okay, with red light, player, I love you. This was hot and heavy, but it's over. That's the message that I get, okay? With whatever this relationship seems to be about, I think it needs to end. We need to cut it off, okay? And it was for a life lesson, right? You were supposed to learn something about this. And let's just open this up. Okay, deception. Someone is wearing a false self-mask in this relationship, and then let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Okay, to me, if you let it unfold naturally, it's still going to end in the red light. Okay, also red light district is what I just heard. So this person could be sleeping with other people at this time. Okay, that's what I'm getting right now. For your first message, it's weird. I usually like to talk about like spirituality or life purpose, but yours seems to be about a person you need to cut out of your life. Okay, Pile 3. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. Okay, so that message doesn't really make any sense to me. So I think you know who it is what I'm going to interpret that as, okay? Deception. Someone is wearing a false self-mask in this relationship with player and red light. Someone is not being authentic here. Someone is not being honest, okay? And that is the first message. I don't know if it's going to bleed into the tarot, but let's open up tarot. That one is pretty clear, though. Red light, player, and deception. I would not trust this figure. Now, you will have to use your discernment, okay? Because these are general readings. That might not even be a message for you specifically. Queen of Cups. Okay, curious. I see you as being someone who's very emotional and who has an ability to relay their emotions, either creatively or how you express yourself, okay? I think you might be very gifted at creative projects, okay? So the arts, okay? Especially with how you draw out your personal experiences, okay, Taylor Swift? And put them into words. I get that some of you are getting out of this relationship. We were talking not necessarily about, stopping this relationship, getting out of it, but the fact that you have gotten out of it, okay? And I think that the Queen of Cups shows me that you are someone who has an emotional wealth to them, okay? But again, it's that idea of red, by Taylor Swift. This Queen of Cups to me talks about someone who writes poetry or who channels messages directly from spirit or their higher self. And I'm getting the idea of you transmuting heavy energies of loss, especially romantic loss, and putting that into writing and putting that into music, okay? What is this card? Seven of Pentacles, a little patience, okay? This seems to be talking about something else, so we're going to move it over here. Let me just finish up this message, okay, that seems to be coming through. Let's use... We'll draw one from this yellow. Let's finish up this message about this relationship. Sea, okay. Sea as in S-E-A, the ocean, okay? So the idea of this Queen of Cups, she's not my absolute favorite person. I think she's very psychic, but she has moved her throne all the way out of the castle down to the water's edge because she's pining over someone that she's lost. And if you direct your energy out there, out to sea, it's going to drain you, right? I get the idea of a bottle being opened and just like spewing out, and you're not going to have anything left in your creative well if all you do is direct energy out towards your loss of this person. So I want you to do it in a constructive way, pile 3, okay? I want you to bottle up this emotion, bottle up this loss in a way that allows you to transmute it while offering this to other people as a lesson, as an experience for them as well, so that they can learn how to do what you do so naturally, okay? Now, let's move on to career, okay, and finances, perhaps talents. This 7 of Pentacles, to me, you know, you're a little impatient at this time, okay? And I want to remind you to take a look about what you actually have already brought into the physical realm. As far as this talent of yours, career, you might not be at the very end of your career goal. You may not be where you want to be financially. You may not be at the end game. But what I am seeing is that there are absolutely fruits of your labor that you can perceive at this time, and it's time to look at that because you will continue to grow this talent of yours, this career, your finances. Right now, we're just taking stock, okay? King of Swords, okay, interesting. This could be someone who is in the field of writing themselves, and we have a light change, a dramatic light change. That's curious. Okay, the Fool came out as well. And you also have the 8 of Wands with the 5 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so I do see you guys as having left this partnership, having cut off this relationship. It could be not romantic, but I do get that it was romantic, especially because I was hearing Taylor Swift so strongly. And I'm getting the idea to have courage to go forward. You know, the Fool in reverse says it's time to take a leap of faith. You might not know exactly where you're going to land, but right now it's time to move forward. Okay? You know, you're also probably going to receive a message from this person, this player, and that could be the I love you card. And you know, you also got that card. You must be willing to be the Fool, to be the master, and you had the Fool come out. Okay? I'm getting the idea of this person coming back and trying to woo you, and no. If you can be wise like this Queen of Cups and recognize that emotionally you guys are not a match, the player came out again, okay? I'm getting the idea that it's time to let them go, even when they come back sobbing and telling you that you're the one and that they love you. No. No, because I do see them reaching out again. Now, the Fool, you know, you must be willing to be the Fool. I get the idea that no matter how hard you fall, you guys have the ability to pick yourself back up, okay? And I love that about you guys. You guys can, you know, go through some crazy experiences, but you understand that it's all for that sake, for experience's sake itself. And you can, you know, draw upon your wealth of experiences because you are willing to go out there, to put your heart on your sleeve, and to ask the universe to just provide you with all, you know, the support that you need in order to go down this path. I think that is important for you at this time to remember. You have this sort of resiliency about you. You're a cat of 9 lives, okay? Very curious, very, very cool energy. I'm glad that we got that player sorted out. Let's open up some earth magic. Yeah, as far as career though, King of Swords, you know, I get someone who speaks and uses their voice, or you're an authority in your field, okay, but it is something to do with the mind, okay, so you guys could be psychologists. You also, it has to do with creative writing. You could be editors. You could literally be people who work with music or something to do with communications and your voice. Okay, with the Fool in reverse, you know, you could be people who write about your journey, is the message I just heard. I think that you could be writing about your experiences at this time. Even if this is something that falls out of what you've been currently building, I think your ability to capture your set of experiences and to relay the human experience is something that you're meant to do. Breach with Whale love to see this. So getting over some hump, right? I love to see the Five of Cups in reverse because that talks to me about a turning point, okay? And with River, that's the first card, sorry, I didn't tell you guys, that came out. With movement and then breach, you know, we're moving, we're shifting, right? Also the Fool, you know. It's going to require a leap of faith, though. I think that you're not going to know exactly what step you're taking. You can identify the next step, but the one after that, the one after that, the one after that, you're not going to know them, but just keep taking steps, okay? Keep moving forward because I see a lot of movement coming forward in your life. You might even be physically moving, okay? As a result of, you know, setting realistic boundaries, I think you're freeing up energy to help assist you to go in some new direction in your life, okay? Let's draw, you know, a card, something to do with spirituality or life purpose. Okay, you got Queen of Swords now with the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so you now have the King of Swords. You also have the Queen of Swords with power. 10 of Pentacles, you know, with contentment. I was asking about life purpose, you know, career potentially, something to do with using your voice, with connecting with your divine feminine. And to me, that talks about emotions, okay? Relaying emotions. I think that you guys have a life purpose about defending the underserved, defending people in poorer countries, poorer circumstances. You have a very, very sharp mind. And I think you're moving out of a stage of your life where you're sort of wrapped up in emotions and relationships and emotions were something you were learning. You've learned that karmic point in your life, and now you're moving on to be able to speak about it. You know, I do really get the idea of someone who is an authority in this field of communication. Something about like having a great voice. You have a podcast voice. You should be telling stories, or you need to tell your story at this time. Okay, your story of growth and transformation is going to lead to contentment. 10 of Pentacles, going to lead abundance, right? Love to see the idea of moving from the 7 of Pentacles into the 10 of Pentacles, which I see as a completion, and, you know, just you're increasing your finances, okay? But also increasing your creative talent. The Pentacles talk about the talents too, okay? And I think yours has to do with your throat chakra, has to do with speaking and communicating. This could be okay? That was a huge, whenever my throat closes like that, it means it's an important message. You guys could be channelers. I think you could be channeling messages, especially because, you know, the Queen of Cups, she does channel. She has an especially valuable chalice, right? So to me, that talks about the throat. And I'm getting the idea that you guys are literally able to channel directly from spirit, okay? And this is a result of, you know, potentially past lives, but I'm looking at all of the water in your cards. The water does talk about psychic energy, okay, and emotions. I think that you are someone who has a wealth of emotional experience in this life, and you could be a tarot reader, or this is something that you should do because you're able to draw on all these experiences in your life. But again, I do see a shift moving forward, okay? Your Earth Magic cards, movement with breach, where like, it's like, there we go. You're moving from one pond into the other. You're jumping lily pads. This isn't like a small shift. The fact that you have breach, which means like getting over a huge creative block, literally leaping over it, and movement, we're like heightening those concepts. So it's a bigger concept coming through. It's a bigger highlight that we're trying to, you know, relay. It's this idea of moving lily pads. You might even literally be moving countries. You might be getting a job offer abroad. You might be finding out that your voice is a very strong perspective and message in a different country or in a different field. Okay? Let's draw a spiritual message for pile 3. What do we want to talk to pile 3 about in regards to spirit? Okay. Pile 3, what do we have for them spiritually? Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? Yeah, I get that idea with the Queen of Swords, power, the Queen of Cups, the King of Swords. Okay, you guys have leadership qualities and potential. With the Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? I think it has something to do with your throat, okay? But you also could be energy healers too. I'm seeing a lot of light and attention drawn to her hands, and there's the energy center that is her solar plexus that is lit up too. So we could be called at this time to be cleansing and activating our solar plexus, okay? To me, that talks about the ideas of personality and self-confidence, okay? And I want pile 3 to have the confidence to be able to step up at this time on their life, okay? I think there is an arena that you are comfortable in, and you know that you have an ability and a natural affinity in this arena to share a perspective that you have, to share your authentic message is what's coming through. Okay, you have something to do with speaking out. Okay, honestly, it's a very weird message, and it's not really someone I would think would come to these readings, but I'm getting a climate action kind of person, an activist. Align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? In reverse, tells me that you guys are making crucial decisions in your life, and it's causing you to move forward. I think you cut out a relationship in your life that is causing you to slingshot forward. That is that idea of jumping lily pads or moving across the pond. You guys are about to be catapulted in a new direction, and that's what we seem to want to talk to you about. Is there a spiritual animal that might have a message for pile 3? What spirit animal wants to work with pile 3? What spirit animal wants to work with pile 3? What do we want to tell pile 3? Links. Okay, secrets. Okay, but also what a cool card, you guys. The lynx is not the teller of secrets, it is the keeper of secrets, okay? It's the idea of having a wealth of emotional resources at your disposal. Secrets. You guys can channel, okay? I'm getting the idea that you could channel sort of other beings, higher entities, star systems, the Pleiadians, concepts like this. You guys should look up people who channel or look up how to channel. I think that would be significant to you, okay? There is this idea of secrets, okay? And perhaps right now, this move you should be making in the dark, okay? Whatever new path you're going down, wherever you seem to be channeling or going, okay, channeling came up again. I think that you guys really could open up a channel. Beaver, 22 is a very spiritual number. Butterfly, 9. 9 is also the lynx because 18 breaks down to 9, okay? Yeah, I think that you guys are, you are literally understanding things right now in a very big cosmic sense. You've made some, you've cut away some person or relationship or nasty habit, and as a result, you're seeing other things in your life shift very quickly, like big shifts, and you're understanding, you're like, oh, so that roadblock that I've been ignoring for so long and finally got to, when I remove it, all this information floods through. All of this newness comes in and is able to because the dam has been removed. Yeah, that's why the beaver's out. Okay, cool. That's an interesting message. I'm getting the idea of a flood of insight, a flood of intuitive hits, okay? And it's we want to sort of, when you get on your feet after all this sort of newness, when you sort of make this huge transition, once you emerge from your chrysalis and start fluttering around as this new entity, this new butterfly, having transmuted this deep emotional state, where are you going to be able to shine that knowledge? Where are you being called to step up and lead, pile 3 at this time? Okay? Is there anything else we want to talk to pile 3 about? I think that is it. Well, I hope you guys really liked this reading. If you did, you can give me a big thumbs up. It helps other people receive these messages who need to. It also helps my channel grow. If you'd like to book a personal reading, I have a link in the description box where you can find my email on this account. And until next time, stay divine.